Hi guys, back again. What I'm going to tie this time is what we call a polyolive, or basically it's a synthetic comparadon. It's a really stupidly easy fly. It's literally only got two materials in it, apart from the hook. Um, these things you can tie in loads and loads of different colour schemes, mainly varying the body and not so much the wing colour. You can play about with the wing colour a little bit if you want, but I prefer to go for either a light or a medium dun. Them are the two wing colours I tend to use the most of. There's two ways to tie it. One with either a microfibet tail or a normal kind of hackle fibre tail, or the version I'm going to tie now, which is one with a shuck tail. These are really super simple, very fast to tie, and it's a really good change fly when you're catching a lot of fish. If you've got like a really big hatch going and the fish are really having it, it's a really good fly to use in place of a cul de canard. I think there seems to be a trend these days that everybody thinks a decent fly for the river, a decent dry fly, has to have cul de canard in it. That's not the case. There's plenty of other good stuff out there that's not got cul de canard in it. The main advantage this has over a cul de canard fly is similar to the spinner that I tied. You can get it fishing again way faster. So I'm going to just plow on, quickly tie one up, and then tell you a little bit more about how I fish it at the end. So anyway, I'm going to use olive UTC fly tying thread. The hook is a 16H130BL. I typically tie it mainly in 18s, 20s, and all the way down to a 22. Depends on the size of the fly that you're imitating. I use it a lot for blue-winged olives, but you can vary the colour and use it for lots of different things. You can even do it in sort of spinner colours, and it works just as well. Right, so I'm going to catch the thread on. Halfway down the shank, then back up to within a third of the eye. Tag end off. Now for the wing, I like to use Aero Dry wing, but you can use any kind of fine siliconized polypropylene with a little bit of a crinkle to it. I tend not to use crinkled Zelon for this because I find it takes quite a lot of primping to get it back into shape after you've caught a fish. What I do is set it up at about the little over the wing length I actually want, catching it on top of the shank, 2 or 3 tight turns to catch it like that. This is really the sort of this next bit's really the sort of tying trick, if you like, with this. If you get your waste material for your polyprop, pinch it and push it back towards the wing a little bit and bubble it, then go in at about probably just over the halfway point, trim, slide back a little bit, push forward, take about just over a third out, push forward, take it down to a few fibres like that. Now what you've done there is you've created your ramp down for the body. So as I tie back now, it'll progressively get thinner and it'll create a nice tapered underbody without having to do lots and lots of thread work or building a ramp up. So I've basically done it all at once. Then I trim this tail down, or the shuck, whatever you want to call it, to length. Lengthen the thread a little bit, spin it. That's just to cord the thread up. And take this is a brown marker pen. You can use black as well. Black on tan's quite a good colour combination, looks just like a natural quill. And literally go in and rivet all the way up. That's the body. Primp the wing, get that comparadon out, force the wing back, go in at the front, build a ramp. Do this with a little bit of dubbing if you really wanted to. It doesn't actually make any difference. Especially the smaller I go, I tend not to bother with the dubbing. On the bigger ones, I will drop a bit of dubbing in around the wing. Once it's all posted up, drop your whip finish in. What you can do You can darken the thorax a little bit if you want to, or you can do it earlier on. You can actually just tint the thread. I forgot, to be honest, so I'll just do it now. So that gives me a little bit of colour variation between the thorax and the body. And that is basically it tied. That's a synthetic comparadon. You can see from the profile underneath, that could say anything to a fish. It could be a spinner, it could be a cripple, it could be a part emerged, adult, could be anything really. The final real key bit is I normally treat it with something like this. This is Flyagra. There's loads of other different ones you can use, but it's a pre-treatment to basically waterproof them. This is a new one that a good friend of mine, Peter Clark, brought me back from the US. It's called Jet Fuel. Haven't tried this yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to be good because it's already started to burn the writing off the label, and I've not even opened the lid yet. So I'm pretty sure that's quite powerful. So we'll give that a go as well. But that's it. That's a synthetic comparadon. Absolutely deadly, especially in the smaller sizes. I've got them in my box all the way down to about a 22, which I use for when they're taking really, really small upwings. Typically, I tend to see the smaller upwings when I'm over in the US, but we still do get a few over here as well. That's about it. Knock some out and give them a go. Thanks a lot.